Yes. Back for another episode. Episode 3, man. I am artist, aka Big Speaker.
It's your boy G.White. Let's get into it, bro. We back with
Yes,
another one.
sir. Back for another one.
Yes, sir.
This time around, back to the scheduled programming. I know a lot of people saying I was hyped, but I was passionate and I really meant what I said. And I think that where I'm from, sometimes I gotta do that to get some attention from the people I know. So
Well, the
but
thing it's show range though, bro. That's range.
yeah,
Like people got to understand we got range. You got to meet people where they at. You got
yeah,
to be able to effectively communicate with everybody. So
yeah. And let that take not, like when I do things like that, I think the people closest to me, like my mama, Chelsea, the people who've seen me progress so much like past that, they come to me and they say, like my mama was like, son, you was a little bit left field on that one. Everybody who know my mama would be like, Pauline, who you telling they left field, right? No, but she was right in the sense what, but she got to understand that the way we build these topics and we know exactly who our audience is and who we talking to. So it's better for me to get that out the way right now because I know where the followers is at, right? And so that's setting the mark, saying showing that I'm serious about this. That's
yeah,
all it is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. But enough for the rah. Let's really get to business. I got people and this is so brilliant because I got people right now that's telling me the skit we had on interviews, walk them down, people
Yeah,
using that right now. People
yeah,
getting jobs off that right now.
yeah,
I got people telling me they going back to school. They doing like all these things, and we only been doing this thing for a couple of weeks.
yeah. That's like I was telling you, bro. 3 weeks. Wait till 3 months. Wait till three
Yeah,
years. Like, you know what I mean? And the thing is, that get me hype because we telling the facts, things that actually don't work for us. And if it worked for
yeah,
me, it worked for you. You could tweak it a little bit, but I'm telling you, the process is for real.
yep.
When we talking walk them down the interview, they didn't expect me to do that. They
Mhm.
had no idea that I was going to hit them like that. You know what I mean? So, you already got whatever you got stacked against you, right? And,
Yes,
you're
indeed.
sitting in there, they're trying to intimidate you and talk to you and, in certain ways. So then when you take that deep breath and it's 4 or 5 of them and
Yeah,
you done did your homework on every one of them, the internet is a powerful thing. It's a lot of public records out there. So,
yep,
I'm telling you, bro, I've never helped somebody for an interview and they haven't got the job. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So these are real things that work. And we can do a whole segment and we will do a whole segment on just like interviewing.
Yep.
But I'm glad people are applying that because that's what it's about. And that's even more motivating, bro.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Let's get into the IOU moment for this week. So, since we had some technical difficulties last week with the stream, and so this is just one indication of being able to push through things when they don't go your way. To be honest, that stream when it first started, it was terrible. Both me and Greg was like, we didn't talk to each other about it, but in the midst of it, we were like, we might have to start this thing over. We might
Mhm.
this it's like, but we had to keep pushing, and
Yeah.
that message was well delivered because both of us got something out of that rewards from higher powers, and I think that just push through your adversity.
No
So
doubt.
because of that, we want to do the IOU moment over, and just to make sure everybody get a glimpse of it and what it is about. So G White, go ahead and start off with yours.
So my IU moment, because we got to give you something.
Yep.
Give you something to really chew on. So said, don't miss the message because of who the messenger is. And that's deep because so many of us miss messages in our lives because of who they coming from. The person too old or the person too young or they too close to you. That's my cousin or that's my brother or even your son or even your daughter. You miss it, you know what I mean? Because you put up these walls like, oh, I can't get nothing from that person or whatever else. You don't know who God put here to send you to show you something or give you something or to, borrow your ear with something. So don't miss out on important messages because of who the message is, right? And then the other half of that is how many of us miss out on certain messages because you feel like the person that's telling the message ain't got enough clout for you to
Yeah.
listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your right hand man, your best friend, your husband, your wife or something will tell you something. Your friend, your sister, you'll tell you something, and you don't listen to them because of who they are. But then Jay-Z, somebody, some celebrity, somebody, you know what I mean? You get on TikTok and see somebody that's famous, a famous TikToker, something. Now you like, oh, that's gotta be true. The person, the person you sleep next to told you the same thing. Your mom and them told you the same thing. Your brother told your homeboy told you the same thing. But because maybe what? They ain't got enough money in their bank account for you to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing that. That's what's wrong with a lot of us in society. In our society, we don't listen to you until we feel like you got enough monetary things around you. You know what I mean? Certain money around you or certain materialistic things. Now you just all knowing. But the
Yep.
person that's up and coming, kind of struggling a little bit, still trying to figure out life, you just assume that person don't know nothing about nothing. Stop
Yep.
missing the message because of who the messenger is. Take the face out of it, take the person out of it, and really hone in and listen and apply something to your life, man.
Yes, indeed. So then my IOU moment for that portion of time was this was a quote from Malcolm X. And this quote was basically divided focus will always work against you.
Mm,
And I think this is really important because a lot of people talk about they have a plan in place and then they say, I got plan B, I got plan C. If that don't work out, I got plan D, right? And I think that you can only do one thing at a greatness, right? So I think that when you start trying to focus on multiple different things, you lose focus of everything. And so I gave this analogy back in the other episode about lion trainers. When they go into the cage with lions, they usually take a stool with them, and they take a stool because they put the stool up and with the four legs facing the lion. And when the lion sees that, it tries to focus on all four legs, but it can't,
mhm.
and it just throws off the line completely. So that analogy applies to our life. When you try to focus on too many things at once, you end up not executing anything. So you got to make sure that you hone in on one particular item and just do your best to try to accomplish that goal, and that'll get you right.
Yeah,
So that's the IOU moment for today.
got it. Gave him something to chew on for sure.
For sure. Let's get into it though. Yes, yes. So today, today we got a real good one.
Yeah.
And this topic can really branch out to a lot of different things, but we just gonna take this one with the key points and let it flow. So what you think about that?
Hey, like you said, something powerful, man. It's something that, it came to me and we talked about it. And I'm like, bro, this is exactly what we've been doing.
Yep.
We gonna share, different successful things that we've done and practices. And this is another one. But there's a lot of adversity in what we're about to go about. Like, this is really some look in the mirror stuff, like we said, that we had to figure out to understand when it's time and inevitable. If you climbing and chasing goals and doing what you're supposed to do and through life experiences,
Yep.
everybody gonna have to look in the mirror and ask these questions to themselves and really evaluate in these areas for sure.
Facts. What the title is.
So, the title for today is gonna be, it's okay to start over. It is okay to start over.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right to start over.
I got a good understanding of I want to help the people understand this because this podcast is based on people. We all went through this. We've been through the route of being inexperienced,
Yeah.
oppressed, uneducated, right? All of us. And this makes so much of a point because it's okay to start over as big because of this fact. Typically, us who are involved in this podcast, we've been dealt the cards we were given, right? So we've been dealt those cards, and guess what? We got to use them. Where my spades players at?
Trying to
I know
tell you.
GY, you can't play spades,
Hey,
so
stop playing with
but
me, bro. You be reneging.
but listen,
Come
but
on,
listen, never that. That's cap. That's ball cap.
man.
Anyway, uh, so we got to play the cards we've been dealt, right? And the thing is about this is a lot of us aren't dealt aces, kings. We ain't dealt no jokers. Like we coming down with the low numbers, right? And
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to make lemonade of what you got, but at some point, you're gonna know that in order to get to a higher level of dreaming big and getting to those bigger goals, those bigger aspirations, you're probably gonna have to start over on some things. So
Yeah.
that's why I think this is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start it from the top, bro. Let's not
From the
waste no
top,
time. Let's get right on in it. Um, you
career.
know, career. Oh, that's that's one of the ones.
Eh,
I would just, I'm gonna jump off by saying that, personally in my career, I've had to start over several times. May have to start over again. You just don't know.
Yep.
It's all a part of life experiences. But what I will say, I can tell you some reasons why I've started over. And I know everybody can relate to this. Some people stick in situations too long and don't know when to start over. But when you know better, do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've started over where it comes to money on the job. I've seen that on the front end and the back end. I've started over on a job because it wasn't enough money. It wasn't enough money. Things was too tight. You know what I mean? Like I can't do this. I got to
Yeah.
start back over. And I've had jobs where it was it was good money, but I didn't have work life balance. And speaking of work life balance, I've started over jobs because I was looking for work life balance. As you grow and get experiences, get families, and whatever else, you know what I mean? Your priorities change. So it's okay to start over with that, because you're going for a cause that may be bigger than you, or now you got a different understanding on some things to where you're like, all right, okay, let me switch this gig so I can go to my kids' games, or
Yep.
so I could pick my kids up from school or drop them off, or things of that nature. Where, if you just maybe before you had kids or something, that wasn't a priority. So that didn't even matter. But now you don't want to had a couple kids, you're gonna have to start over. You can't just take whatever shift. You might not be able to take whatever
Facts.
shift. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a couple of the things that I think about, and that's the things that I've switched careers for. And at the time, some people didn't understand it. I understood it. And some things I didn't understand until I went through something and got some experiences to know, like, I'm not taking that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But then I'm like, okay, if I notice a trend or a pattern somewhere, through my experiences where I done been there, done that, hey,
Hmm.
start over on this. It's time to rethink this thing. So when I think of career, that's some things I done thought about, bro. Location. It could be location, kids, experiences, work-life balance, and all. I've sat down and made these decisions. And it's okay. And before I turn it to you, I'm gonna tell the people this. It's okay to start over. But in order to be able to start over, you got to get started. So think about that.
Yeah, I like to give this concrete example of two different occasions. I've explained this before, but I think that this bringing it up again is very important. So I told the story about how I graduated with electrical engineering,
Mm-hmm.
and when I first came out of college, I was trying to get a job. So then I ended up working as a electrical engineer for a steel mill. And out in where we from, the steel
Mm,
mill, you get into a steel mill, you kind of people stay there for the duration of their career.
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't like the cold in Indiana. So that's what got me to Texas. Um, I left from there, went to Texas, and started working for some utilities. Well, then life happens, right? And so start having kids, wife at home, dogs. And then for me, it was all like me and you, really. It was
Yeah.
always about like, we never had a job that was close. Our
Nah.
jobs, like my job was far, 45 minutes, an hour, one way.
Yeah.
And so two way, like you waking up 5:35 in the morning. And I can tell you this, in Austin, when I lived there, I was there through the transitions of how it got so crowded. I stayed on off South First Street, and I used to could get up at like 7 a.m., like leave to work at 7 a.m. and get there at a decent time. Then it backed up to 6:30 a.m. Then 6 o'clock. Then 5. I found myself 5 a.m. having to get up because if I didn't, traffic would be so crazy that it's almost a wrap if you're trying to get there on time. So when we finally moved from there and moved to Houston, I was driving all the way to Pasadena, and that's an hour trip one way. That's without traffic. That's without like anything. So if an accident is accident bound every day, hour and 30, right? So I said to myself, I got to stop this because I don't like. I'm first of all, I'm missing out on so much. If there's ever an after school program with the kids, I got to leave work early in order to get there on time. So now my point was, and this is where I separate the drive and the ambition. The drive and the ambition is what I want, but the underlying, the thing behind that drive is I'm doing this because I know I want to be able to do these things.
Right. It's that give and take.
Yes. So I got to do this first in order to get to that. So I knew, I was like, in engineering, I was like, there's got to be a better way because I know it's 2023, 2022, whatever year that was. Like, I know people who working remotely right now. How can I do that? How can I get into a space where I can just eliminate the commute altogether, right? So my starting over point was I'd already finished college. I got to start over. I got to go back to school, or I got to go do something different because I wanted to get a whole different skill set. I had skill set in IT from the beginning, but it wasn't cybersecurity. So I've been doing cybersecurity since the pandemic. That was a good start over point for me because there wasn't nobody doing nothing. So I was in the house reading cybersecurity books, doing what I had to do, and started over that way. And what I'm saying is that was a career change. That was a career start over from engineering to cybersecurity. And that's
Completely
what
different.
and that's what I had to do. And when I did that, I had it in mind. I knew that cybersecurity individuals, they don't have to go nowhere. So why not do that? And then I'll reach my goal of not having to go anywhere. And then whenever there's an after school activity or something like today, AJ has something at his school, 9 o'clock in the morning, I was able to go to that. See, this is the joy when you can kind of start over.
Listen, let me pause right there. People don't understand when you go through something, or some people do understand. But I'm gonna just say, me and you can attest to this because I remember when we wasn't able to do things like that, especially me. You caught balance a little bit before me, right?
Yeah.
Bro, to be able to take my kids to school, take Rosie to school every day and pick her up pretty much every day.
That's life.
Bro, what?
That's life.
To some people, that
To
may
go
seem
eat
like,
lunch, with them, they
bro,
get so thrilled when you come in there
yes,
with McDonald's or whatever you feeding them.
yes,
They just like, and they faces be like, they look around like it's like, your mama here? Yeah, my mama here. My your dad? Yeah, my daddy here too. You're like, yeah.
yes. Yeah, bro. I love walking my kids into the school and
Yeah.
dropping them off and all that because I remember
Yep.
I made sacrifices early on and had to start over so I can get to this point.
Yep.
I had to walk, like you said. You had the gig at the mill.
Yeah.
You know, I was at Allison and good money, but
Yep.
a crappy shift. I was working second shift. And I'm just saying it was crappy to me because it took me away from so much. Working 3 to 11s, Rosie was about to start sports and everything, and I knew I wanted to be there. And I started looking at the time of it. I say, I'm gonna miss everything.
That's why
I'm gonna
we be
miss
saying all money ain't good money.
no.
So
And,
like,
and when I had to walk away from that situation, I had to start over to get to where I wanted to get, where I'm at now today. So my kid got all
yeah,
them memories. My dad been right there. My dad at the practices, the games, the rehearsals, the, like you say, the singing recitals at the school, the little, all of it, the
man,
concerts at the
remember that.
school. We right there.
I want to tell people that. I want to tell people that just remember when you was a kid, if you ever had a basketball game, any type of sports game, whatever it was, I guarantee you remember them times when your cousin, your mama, whoever was there that came
Yeah,
to your games or whatever. That's something you never forget, and it really shapes your life, because the things that your parents did for you in those moments that you remember, you're gonna imitate those when you get old, when you start having kids. You're gonna
yeah,
want to do the same thing to your kids, and then they're gonna remember.
yeah. And
So
I tell people all the time, bro. Like I go so hard in that area because, and it ain't no shade. You know, your parents did their best. Whatever that looked like, your
yeah,
parents did their best, right? My mom and dad are providers. You get what I'm saying? They did what they had to do, work ideal shifts and everything else
yep,
to put some beans on the table. So they missed a lot of my games. Missed a lot of my games. You know what I'm saying? And I seen them
yep,
parents. I seen them parents that was at all them games, yelling their kids' name and stuff like that. Stuff do matter. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
so I told myself I want to be that parent when I, you know what I'm saying, when Rosie started playing. I'm talking about, bro, we making the sandwiches, I'm bringing the Gatorades, I'm bringing the snacks. I'm in the mix. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
at Aria cheerleading practices, AJ baseball. First of all, I coach T-ball. Whenever he on the field, I'll be coaching, but he plays soccer. I got my little grill. I'm over there passing out hot dogs, and just like they did to us in Maywood, hot
Mm-hmm.
dog chips, juices. But here's the tricky part about this career thing. You're gonna get to a point in your career where you're gonna have to decline some jobs if you
Yeah.
keep this perspective in mind.
Yes.
And you have to start over at some point to better your career. And when you do that, you'll do it so good that more opportunities will come. And then you'll have to stay grounded on principles of, I'm not going to just do this job because it's more money and this and that if it's going to take me away from kids or whatever it is that you want. It's a juggling act. So I give you one point and I'll let you go. Like right now, what I told you about with that one gig, um, and this has happened before. Companies have come to me and said, we want to give you X amount of dollars, but the caveat is you got to travel. It's a
Mm.
done deal. I can't do it. I'll travel at for under certain conditions. I'll travel if it's like
Yeah, but
very minimum, but
you're
I
not gonna
can't.
travel 50% of your job. You're
No,
not
I
gonna
can't. And
no
those are the
70%
things, yeah.
travel and all that. No,
And
no.
those are the things you got to set your the circumstances straight and make the expectation known up front that this is what's being done. This is the expectation. Anything over this, can't do it. And whatever amount the money is, you can't look at it like that, because the times with your kids or the times with whatever you got is more important than that money.
Yeah. And I would say this. I'm gonna say two things. One is people make no mistake about it. You have to have experience to be able to kind of navigate the way what we're talking about. So you got to get in the game. You got to get in the game, get some experience under your
Yeah.
belt to understand when it's time to start over. Okay. Um, and a good practice of mine
Yep.
is you feel it in your gut, though, right? You feel it in your gut. Stop ignoring your gut. If you feeling like something got to change, I need to shift this up in my career. I need to switch this job up or something like that. Get a piece of paper. I'm always tell you, get a piece of paper and put it in. When I'm making big decisions, I sit down, I get a piece of paper, and I weigh my pros and cons, right? What is this job or this career bringing me right now? Okay. Then what is it costing me? Or what am I
Yeah.
missing? Right? What am I able to attend while
What is,
working here?
yeah.
What am I missing? You got to see it in front of your face. Take it out of your head, put it in front of your face. So you got to see it. And then that'll help you make a lot of your decisions because the proof is in the pudding. And you got to be honest about it. You got to be honest about it because working around the clock, 16-hour days, back to 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 back.
It's not the way.
That's
And it's
that's
draining.
not the way. Now I understand running it up. I understand running it up. I promise you we get running it up. But if that's what that is every day of your life, you're going to miss some things.
Yep.
You're going to miss some things. And it's okay to start over once you get some credentials and experience under your belt with your career. And it's
So
okay to start over for the right reasons, like we done talked about. Family, everything, kids, work-life
yeah.
balance, all that.
So this is a real situation right here though, because I know a lot of people will say this. They'll say, okay, you want me to pick between being able to go out and get this money and provide for my family so we don't need nothing, or take a step back and hurt a little bit, but be with my family. That's something that people gonna have, like, they have to really think about. But my answer to that is that don't force a job, don't force a situation,
Yeah.
don't force a career. If you think something is what you got to do, no, there's not. It's not what you have to do. Be anxious for nothing. There's something out there that will get you exactly what you want. You just have to be patient enough for it and don't grab the first cookie that comes.
Yeah, I would
You
tell
know what I'm saying?
everybody, do what you got to do to pay your bills. We're not saying
Yeah.
do what you got to do to pay your bills. But what I will tell you is don't get so caught up in the bread, the money of it, where, especially if you got kids. Um, because guess what? Kids don't care about none of that. Kids
No.
don't care about none of that. Your kids are not going to get older and be like, uh, they're not gonna value you working them 16s and them 80-hour weeks and all. They're not gonna. Kids, and you only gonna have one time to raise them. They gonna think all they gonna know is we had a nice house, we had some nice things. Daddy drove a nice car, but
He wasn't ever
he
there.
wasn't there. He missed all my games. He wasn't around like that for real. He never sat down and talked to me. We never sit down and watch a TV show together. Nothing. They're gonna remember everything you didn't do, and it's gonna be too late because you only get one chance to do that. So, you know, um, without getting on the soapbox about it, just or trying to be judgy, we just trying to help you navigate through it because I've seen that. I've been money motivated. I've had to walk away from money. So I'm putting myself out there, my personal business, which we do. We share the real because we're not perfect people. I've had to walk away from some bread, because right out of college, what we want to do, sweet, I want to make more money
Yeah.
than anybody I personally knew. And I didn't stop until I did that. Whatever that number was, and me and you done adjusted the number a couple times. That's all I wanted, and I didn't care. But I
See,
was losing. I was losing. The bank account looked good, but I wasn't there. I seen my kids for a little bit in the morning, or just had Rosie at the time. And at night, every time I came home, they would sleep. Like,
see, see, I got another story where this was kind of early on when it was just Chelsea and Aria at the time. We was living in Austin, and I was working my full-time job in Austin, and I was also working at Best Buy Geek Squad. I would get up, I would get up and go to Austin Energy like 5 o'clock in the morning, get off of there, and be at Best Buy at 4:30. So it was literally like, because I had to travel. It
mm-hmm.
4, 5 to whatever, get off and get in the car, go straight to Best Buy. So my days was 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. because I'll get off at 9, but I had to close and then I had to drive home. 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. This means that nobody seen me before they got up. Nobody seen me before they went to sleep. And I remember to this day, I was in the back of Best Buy, and I told my buddy that, and I was like, "Yeah, my day starts this time, and then it starts here." And he had just had a baby, and I was telling him like, "Yeah, I get home and pretty much everybody sleeps." So he's like, and this is his words. He was like, and it changed my life. He was like, "Man, that's rough."
Mm.
That's what he told me. He's like, "Man, that's rough," and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I could do that." And me being me, I just stopped. I was working on the computer. I remember, and I just stopped, and I just stared like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm missing.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is bonkers. There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way to do this. And from that moment on, I said, I got to figure this out. So what I did from that point, I ended up, and this is what you might have to do. Sometimes you might have to make a lateral movement in your current company, your full-time job. So I knew that I was making two separate incomes, right? I
Mm-hmm.
said to myself, how can I get a promotion where the promotion will provide me both of those income combined? So now I only have to work one. And that's exactly what I did. There's other things that go in between that you have to do, like networking, increase your skills and show things. But that's one thing you can do to figure it out. Stop working those two to combine those incomes and have one. And then you don't stop there. Once you actually get that promotion or whatever you're trying to do, you got to be thinking forward to say, okay, now I'm here. How do I prevent myself from having to go back to there? So whatever I just did to get where
Yeah.
I'm at now out of that
Yeah.
position, I'm finna do it again.
Yup. It's the
That's,
process,
what I'm
bro.
saying? It's the
Once you learn
process.
that, yeah. Once you learn that, it's it. So that's careers. And again, you're gonna come up with your own things that you know you need to start over with. But these are some things where we know we've had to apply to our lives and change our lives. So, you know, moving down, the second thing that we'll say is
Yeah.
dreams and dreams and
Meek,
goals.
Meek Mill.
you
I listen to
know,
Meek Mill a lot, man.
hey, I was listening to Meek earlier though. I
Dream
took the
Chasers.
hey, it was like 60 some degrees today. So, you know, here
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
meant something in February. So I went
Yeah.
downtown on a bike for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and that Shaq and Kobe, him and Ross album. I was on that type of time.
Yeah.
Listen to that Millionaire Row. We get I'm telling you, bro, they
Yeah.
cold. Hey, but what I was going to say is with dreams and goals, you're gonna restart your dreams and goals, right?
Why? Why?
Uh,
But why?
as you continue to go through things, bro, it's got to. And I say like, because guess what? My dream as a child may not have been my dream as a teenager. My dream as a teenager may not have been my drive in my 21. My
Yeah.
21 might not be my dream in my 31, right? What I'm saying, you may have to adjust those and dream bigger, right? Because once you get that and them goals to go hand in hand, I may, okay, check that one. Now I want something different. And I might have to start over to do that, right? Um, I'm gonna break it down to a couple things real quick. Two good examples. I see a lot of people talk about working out, getting in the gym, working on their body. I'm not too hard on people with that. I tell people all the time, hey, at least you back in here. At least you ain't give up. You had sometimes it's okay to start over. Oh,
Yeah.
people be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? They say, oh man, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna run 2 miles for a month. But because they slip up a couple times, they just give up on the whole thing. No, start over. Come on, come back for some more. Now your month starting again. Now your month gonna start from today. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
okay to, but come back for some more. Um, a great example where I had to start over financially, and me and you talked about this stuff because we figured out a lot of stuff trial by error, right? Trial by fire,
Yeah.
however you want to categorize it. Uh, when it came to be a homeowner, um, I remember, because I'm 35 right now, you 34, and we bought our first houses at what, like 25?
Yeah.
I was 26. I think you was 25 when we bought our first houses. Right now, we rented houses, had apartments. I'm talking about actually became homeowners. And I can
Yeah.
remember something very humbling, and this is just putting it out there because I know this going to hit somebody because somebody there. And I don't want you to be discouraged. Understand you're going to have to start over to get to where you want to get to. I went and
The
wanted to
dream
buy
of the dream of home ownership, though.
on my
Yeah.
life. I wanted to buy a house, and I did that. And I wanted to buy a house young too. I wanted my kids to have a backyard to play in and run around in. So I bought a house, and I didn't like the way people was talking to me while I was renting. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother thing. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I remember we talk about financially starting over. I remember going to buy my first house and not knowing much about, credit really for real. Thought I was doing the right thing at the time, to my knowledge, right? To the best what we knew. Um, and I went to buy the house, and my credit score wasn't high enough to buy a house. My credit score was not high enough to even buy a house. So my realtor told me, come back. It was in terms of like my credit score and what I needed to clean up on my credit to get my credit score up or whatever. And again, not knowing credit, how I worked at the time, for real, for real. So not only that, I'm okay, cool. I'm a hustler, right? So you tell me I gotta pay this off or do that, and it's gonna make me eligible to raise my credit score. So I end up, and everybody who know about credit or credit cards, how I go, they know you gonna know I made a big mistake. Not only did I get my credit utilization rate lowered, I paid off all my credit cards and closed the accounts.
Hmm.
Put myself in a deeper hole because now I don't got that credit history. I done closed these accounts.
Yeah.
Accounts I done
So
had
let's
for a couple years.
yeah, so let's stop right there. So what he's saying is that when you trying to build credit, and the key of the game of credit is you have to have accounts under your name for an established amount of time. So what
Yes.
happens is he had credits under his account, and the realtor said you need to clean up your credit. So he went and paid them off, right? And for us in our community, we are like, well, the good thing we can do for this is close them out now because we don't want to ever use these again. Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? The way credit works is if you had $10,000 in credit on those cards and you clean that slate, so now you just got $10,000 balance that's free and clear. As soon as you close that, your credit account goes to zero. So you had
Zero.
10,000 available to use on your credit, but since you closed them, zero. And that's just as bad as you maxing out your credit cards. Like you
Bro.
had $999 or 9,999 on the $10,000 limit. It's just as bad as you just closed them out. So
Yeah.
that's why your credit can go down for that. It
And
will.
I had to go back. I'm talking about putting yourself in a deeper hole. I had to start over.
Yep,
She was
that's
like,
starting over.
no. Realtor
Yep,
was like, no. Did you really
yep.
do that? I'm like, yeah. And
I
I'm
did it
like,
too. I did it too. On my
bro. So it took like 6 months for me to get back to the point to where I was eligible for to buy a house. My credit score was there, and I was eligible to get that first time
Yep.
home buyer's loan for the first crib. But that's just, that was a life lesson, and I had to go through that. So now I can share it, and we can share it, so the next person know not to do it. But that was one of them things where I had to start over. I had to really start over. So then what? I had to get more credit cards, right? Now you canceled them accounts and you learn how credit was. So I had to reestablish those. And if I would have kept those accounts, that would have helped me even more to where I'm at today because I really had no reason to cancel them. I thought they
Yep.
was hurting me, but I really hurt
No, it
myself.
wasn't.
So
It was. I don't think it was that you thought they was hurting you. I think it's the fact that in our community we not taught how to use credit. In fact,
well, no,
if you look
yeah,
at the billionaires and the people with wealth or whoever, just people with wealth, blue collar people too, they know how to use credit. You put a business on credit. People who have 200,000 in the bank will still go get a loan for a business. It's
facts.
just the way to leverage credit correctly, and you use it in a professional manner, in the manner that you're able to use it responsibly. That's the
Yes,
difference. And
yeah,
at that point, we just like, I don't wipe this debt. Ain't no way this get finna get ran back up. We finna cancel these, right? So
that's exactly what it was.
so I think that for mine, what I want to talk about is starting over in dreams and goals, and I think this is a big key for this is gonna hit so many people. When we from where we from in these environments where we're at, we don't have the best teacher. Well, okay, I had some great teachers. Shout out Mr. Maker, uh, uh, Larry Maker, Mr.
Well,
Barron. You know what I'm saying?
it's not every teacher, bro. It's not. We
No,
talking
I'm
about
just saying.
we talking about the overall
Okay,
school.
I understand that, but I wanted to make that clear.
Right.
I wanted to make that clear.
Right.
However, in our environments, we don't have the best education systems in place. And what I'm saying is by this is that I graduated my class number 5. I had a 4.0 in high school, right? And what I'm saying is, I'm not bringing this up to brag. I'm saying is because when I went to college, I never got like really B's, all A's. When I went to college, I got my first D, got an F. I'm like, oh no, I done picked the wrong major. What's going on? Something is going on. And what I'm saying is that you really have to humble yourself going into new environments. When you and this, I promise this goes to if you're an athlete, a star athlete, that happened to me too. Like I was pretty good in football in high school. When I went to college, you ain't nobody. Man. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because this stems to sports, this stems to education, this stems to if you're a rapper, you might be the best in your city, but when you step up to all the other competition, you like a peon, you way below. Right. And you got to start over.
Yes.
What you going to do to start over? And so for me, it's one of them times where you got to figure this out. You're going to have to switch your major. You're going to have to do what you got to do to come afloat, change your study habits. And that's exactly what I had to do. I had to realize that, I'm thinking back in high school, I promise you, I don't remember having to study for anything. That sounds bad. I don't remember having to study for nothing. College, I had a routine. They used to call me and my boy Will the dorm room rats. We never came out of our dorm room except for football practice or something, because we had to study. It didn't come easy for me in college. That was hard. That was like the hardest experience of my life, trying to do engineering in college, and I had to do it. And the reason in the first episode, one of the episodes, I told you, I said, if I can do it, you can do it, is because I used that same motto. When I had to start over and like refocus on my studies and understand how to study, understand how to go to office hours, understand how to use resources. None of this was taught to us. We didn't know how to do any of this stuff. So I had this one guy I went to school with. He was a upperclassman, and when I was a freshman, he was a senior. He always cheated on tests. He cheated on every test. Like, so he's the one who told me. He said, "Artists, C's get degrees."
Hey, you hear me?
I'm like, hold on. I'm coming from a place where I get A's. What you talking about? Like, C's get degrees, artists. And he graduated. And I told myself, I said, I ain't gonna say his name. I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And it got me through college. Every time I went to a roadblock with something, I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And it got me through. So that's all I'm saying, is that you might have to start over on a lot of different topics, and you're gonna have to use this and be like, it's okay. This is just a different way I gotta come at this thing, but I can find a solution for it.
Yeah. So let me since we talk a little bit about school, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't know this about me. It's funny, like, because now, man, you so polished up, you so smart, you this, you that, I never made the honor roll in school until I went to college. So figure how backwards that is to people, right? I never made the honor roll in high school, but in college, I was consistently on the dean's list, right? And I tell everybody this: math, I mean, I know my money and percentages and stuff, but math was my weakest subject, right? I had AP honors in English and all that, but still never made the honor roll. But what I'm saying is, I had a tutor in college in math. I
Yeah.
went. So you talk about study hours. I went to the ACE lab when I was at K State. Had a tutor. Actually, one of my tutors is Kendra, Young Jock's wife.
What?
Kendra, yeah, Kendra
I
was my
never knew
tutor.
that.
Man, Kendra's smart. Kendra's super smart. Like Kendra's super smart. So that was my tutor. And I mean, I tell people all the time, like I don't care. I went to a tutor every day, but guess what? I
I
was on the
did too.
dean's list. I was on the dean's list, got some scholarship money, all type of stuff going on, but I didn't make the honor roll until I went to college. I had to start over, really think about what I'm doing. Like, what am I really doing? Like, you spent your high school career as a class clown. Not even just high school. My whole life I was a class clown.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So you really just did just enough to get by, right? You know, because at times it's kind of lame to be smart. So you just like, all right, I want to keep my mama and daddy off of me. So I'm gonna just do just enough to stay eligible for sports.
Yeah.
But then when I got to college, like, nah, I was able to be myself. And it's cool to be having the deans. And guess what? Being on the dean's list and the presidential list and all that, it gets you some paper. And I used to like my little big refund checks and all that. So, hey, I need all that scholarship money. I need all them leftovers. I need all them scraps. You know what I'm saying? So, um, being smart became cool. Studying on the back of buses, going to study hall, things of that nature, getting the right people
Study
around you,
halls. Yeah.
getting the right people around you. You know what I mean? Going to the study groups before we partying. That took a hard restart. That took some starting over up here first, up here before it could get into anywhere else. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just I'm glad we able to share that with the people. So we cover careers, we done cover dreams and goals.
Yep.
The third thing is relationships.
Yeah. let,
Now
let,
hold
let,
on, before
let,
you go,
let-
start before we get into the relationships.
yeah,
We're not
explain
just
it.
talk,
Yeah.
we're not just talking about man and female relationships,
Yeah.
husband wife relationship, boyfriend girlfriend relationships. We're not talking like that. We're not just talking like that.
Yep. But
That's
we
in
will.
there,
But yeah, yeah.
but
Hey,
I'm
absolutely.
saying friendships and everything. I've had to restart.
Yeah.
Um, the thought behind what type of friends, and then I'm gonna let you go. But
Yep.
mine is what type of people do I want around me? What type of people do I want to attract? Right. So I have to start over.
Yep.
Right. Have to start over with the thought of what people do I need to keep around me, other people I need to let go. And it's not like it's a beef. It's just that's stopping me from getting to where I gotta go. So it's time to cut that thing off. I'm gonna see you around the way, but I can't hang with you every day. I tell people all the time, bro, I don't hang with nobody. I link up with people. So when you talking to some of the guys and they like or somebody and they try to tell you that they focused on something and doing all, but they actually hang with people still, I don't hang with nobody. I link up. You know what I'm saying? Like those are some of the things I've had to restart. People I'm around, certain friendships you need to let go or you can't be around no more, things of that nature. So, family, same thing. I've had to restart some situations with family. Some situations, I mean, some family members you had to cut off. Some people you need to bring closer. Uh, and to be honest, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and be like, when you cause a problem, how did I, can we restart that? Because maybe I, you know, did this wrong or didn't do that right or could have said that differently or went about that the wrong way at a certain time. But now I got some experience and some, couple years on me now. I can go look at it a little bit different. So, that's my take on it. And I'm gonna get back to it, but I'm gonna give you a chance to speak on it too, because I know you got something for it. I know you do.
I mean, you got to the cast the podcast got to catch me on one of my moments, but I'm feeling good, So I ain't gonna get on them like I would, but I'm gonna still bring you the facts. I was just gonna present it in this light. When I first went to Butler, right?
Right.
Understand that dynamic. I'm I'm in traffic with everybody else, right? So Butler University, when I had to go transition and to go into that environment, we talking about from an all black environment, all my friends, the things we do, the things we say, like how we
Mm-hmm.
talk, just everything, and transition into Butler. I'm gonna
Ooh,
get this understood. I really appreciate Butler. It taught me how to handle situations that I wasn't used to. It taught me how to interact with people that I wasn't used to interacting with.
right.
It taught me a lot of things that we'll get into. We'll talk about how
Oh yeah.
Greg, he went to a HBCU and I went to a predominantly white institution. That's got to be talked about. And we're going to talk about that.
We go,
But I,
man. Yeah.
yeah, but what I want to say about this is that I had to be able to form relationships. I had to start over, literally. I promise you, I can count. It was probably like when I first started Butler, like 5 of us. And then as time went on, my cousin Todd came, Hollis came there. It started getting more and more, but all of us, and they can all speak to this because I know they got the same stories. We all had to like start over in terms of how we dealing with these people. And the good thing about it is we formed some great relationships with them people. And I
Yep.
say them people because I'm speaking from the perspective of like the people I know in my community. It was just that different. That's what I'm trying to stress. It was just that
People
different.
know. Yeah. People know
Yeah.
there's some differences
But
there.
I just want to say that. I just want to say I'm just calling them people that because they my people too. But what I'm saying is that it was so different that I had to understand how they thought about things. Because I can say something to them that offend them. Same thing I would say to my friends, and it's just normal stuff, right? So I had to start over in all of that and understand how that worked and understand how I can communicate better with people. The other thing I have to say about this is that this like he said, this isn't just about man and woman, but you're definitely gonna have to make some changes in that arena too, because little that you know, or you do know this, and if you ignoring the fact, but your significant other can have a detrimental effect
Ooh.
on the
Yeah.
outcome of your life.
Dog. Man. Yes.
I'm just saying we here right to talk about this.
Man.
I'm not amped up like I was last episode, but I still got to give you the facts.
Man.
And I'm just telling you that if you want to better your life in certain situations, you got to look at who your spouse is or who your as they call it in Texas, your what do they call it? Like your I don't know, your partner. Let's just call it your partner. Because if y'all not on the same page religiously, mentally, and I like to say like it's good for people to be yin yang. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you feel like you've been in a rut, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing with that on your side.
No,
You're
you
gonna have
might
to
need to
start
start over.
over.
You
You
want to
might
start
need to
over.
start over.
Start over.
I'm telling you. That's because that's gonna be. I went through y'all know about me. I ain't got nothing to hide.
No, they don't. No, they
Yes, they
don't.
do. They
Some
know
people
about me.
do.
What they want to know? What they want to
Man.
know, G.White? Just say it, and I expound. You know, I'll say it.
Nah, I'll say this.
I had a few long-term relationships.
Definitely had a few long term.
I had a few long-term relationships, some
Yeah.
deep ones,
You got to start
and
over.
you got to start over. I don't care about going into detail about it, but maybe that's here, maybe that's now. But what I'm saying is that you might have to start over. Check your relationship. If it ain't doing what you need it to do, ain't
if it ain't
no,
if it ain't helping you, it's hurting you.
it's
Y'all done,
hurting you.
y'all ever seen somebody? And I mean to cut you off, but cause I want to really get to people when we say something like that, so you can start thinking for yourself and know when it's time to maybe switch it up, change the scenery.
Yeah,
Y'all ever see somebody mess with somebody and look like they done fell off
yeah,
by whatever that definition is, right? So they ain't dressing how they used to dress. They ain't even looking the same. Maybe they don't even look like they shower or keep themselves up like they used to, or
yeah,
groomed or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Not saying that that's all on the person you with, because you got to have some accountability for yourself. But I'm not gonna let nothing around me slip, fall off, go without, look bad. You get what I'm saying? Before we walk out my house, we shine together. So I'm not gonna
yeah,
outdress nothing in my house. You get what I'm saying? Or nothing.
yeah,
So if somebody who you with ain't pushing you like that, you might need to start over, because again, man, you got one time to live this life.
yeah.
be careful who you let play with your time, because time is the one thing that's the most valuable. We don't know how much we got left of it. So be careful how much time you waste because you scared to start over, because you scared to go back
Because you're
out or
too
just
old or you don't
date
want to go
yourself.
back out and date
Yeah, or
people.
be
That's a part of
alone.
the process.
You don't want to come home alone. You don't want to be alone and all that, man. I get that, but dang, do you still want to keep going through the same thing? Like,
I can
nah.
tell you that most like the billionaires, you see all these people who, and I say billionaires because money, it does motivate a lot of people. But what I'm saying is that these people, they be getting divorces and things like that. It's because your relationship has a effect on your work, your career, everything,
Yeah.
your dreams, your goals. That person is either going to fuel you or they're going to kill you. Your spirit, your drive, all that can be just down in the dumps if your relationship ain't bad, it ain't good. I can tell you, like, if me and Chelsea like in the funk and we just like the whole house is down, like the vibe
Yes.
is so off.
Yep. Top down.
Everybody, yeah,
It's that top down.
top down, everything, you got to correct that. If that ain't correct, everything else goes bad. So that's why I like to harp on this relationship thing, because I done been through it. I know when my career was spiraling down, I was going through stuff relationship wise, and I know the times where I was back at a good point and I started doing stuff that was just unbelievably great. So that's what I'm saying. Check your relationship. And also, I don't want to leave this one out before we end this, but your friends, your childhood friends. So, childhood friends, you have to be careful with this too. And a lot of times, this situation is a slippery slope. All my friends who they know what it is with me, but they know what it is also, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that, again, if your friends respect you and what you do, how your lifestyle different is a difference from theirs, they understand there's no problem there. When we come around, we still chop it up. We still do what we do. That doesn't mean I judge them. I never my class '08. I don't know about your class, whoever class, but we really solid. And everybody has their opinions about other people, but I promise you, when we be linking up, it's a movie. Everybody know that. It's a movie. And I just think that still within this realm of things, you have to understand that you might have to start over. And what I'm saying is, if you want to get to different levels, you may have to go out and network with some other people that aren't your current friends, because they might not be the people that get you where you need to be. That ain't got nothing bad to say about them. That's just these people over here. They don't went to Princeton. They don't went here. They know this person who know that person. I need to get them connections. That's all I'm
There's
saying.
there's value in your day twos. It's
Yes, there's
value.
value in your day twos.
It's value in your day twos. Your day
Everybody
ones,
always talking about day ones and this and that, but
we
that's
had no
not
choice.
everything.
We couldn't pick each other. You get what I'm saying? It just happened that way. Your day ones is people that was in proximity to
All
be able to
right.
live in the same neighborhoods, go to the same school. You ain't have a choice. You didn't have a choice. But them day twos and threes and fours, you got
Don't
choice
look,
now.
yeah,
Now
don't
you
overlook them.
choosy.
Don't overlook
Yeah,
them.
it's value in them. It's very they hey, and they'll come through and they'll see you in a light and sometimes appreciate you more than maybe some of them day ones. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother subject that a lot of people ain't ready
Yeah.
for.
But I
And
want
we
people to not be
and
small
we day
minded.
ones, it's just I'm saying we've seen it on both sides of it.
Yeah. And I just want people to be small minded about not be small minded. Is like, we're not saying cancel your day ones, cancel your friends, but we saying that start over too. You can like you literally like take for example, if you cooking and you make some chicken or something, you finish a batch. Hey, that ain't turn out the way really I wanted it, but I'm gonna just start over. Don't throw that chicken away though. You feel me?
Yeah.
Don't throw that chicken away though.
Yeah,
Don't
nah, we're
don't throw
not
your
doing
friends.
that.
Yeah, don't throw your friends. You ain't saying don't throw your friends away. Just start over and make some build on them connections. And then if you like me, and I done this before, I meet somebody. Okay, you do that. I don't have no experience with that, but I know fam over here. He does that. Let me introduce y'all to. You see what I'm saying? It's
Absolutely.
full circle.
Look, look, my boy Ken that I was talking to you about that do the real estate and Gary and everything. He real big on it. He called me one day and he was just like, "Hey, bro, we can handle business. I like you, like, what I'm saying? We cool. Like, we hit it off,
Yep.
everything cool. He just like, hey, we can handle business together. We can laugh, joke, everything. He was like, but what I'm saying? He said one of his goals for himself was to continue to surround himself around a lot of people that think like him or that think on certain levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, just put people around you to help keep you sharp. He say, so every now and again, I might call you just to bounce something off of you or just to chop it up. You know what I mean? Or if I'm in town, pull up on you and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
Yeah.
else. You need that. But I'm saying you still cool with your day ones and everything, and they're still your friends. But I'm saying when you start looking and trying to elevate yourself,
Got to
sometimes you're
start
gonna have
over.
to start over and be like, okay, in order for me to get there, I got to get a couple of people around me who are maybe
Who
I
has
look at like
experience with
put
this, man?
experience that can push me, maybe what I may deem an expert in this situation.
Yeah.
That's the ones I gotta have right around me now. So I gotta start over, handpick them, and keep them around me now. But I still love my peoples and my other folks when I see them. Just right now, in order for me to get to where I gotta go, I gotta start over with who I got close
Yeah.
around. Start over where I'm spending my time
Yeah.
with or who I'm around in order to get to where I gotta go. So, hey, if you ain't never had to start over, you ain't got started yet. You
No,
ain't
you
doing
ain't
nothing.
got started.
And that's how we go, and that's how we get, and that's how we gonna wrap it up. But there's
Yeah.
a couple of items that we always want to give people, bro. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the key takeaway from this, and we want you to keep in mind that the topic of this episode is it's okay to start over. And the points, your career, it's okay to start over. Your dreams and goals, it's okay to start over. Because we dealt the cards we were dealt, and we had to play those.
Yeah.
Those dreams may not have aligned up to what we really wanted to do because we couldn't see a clear goal. All we wanted to do was get out of survival mode. You can't really dream big when you're in survival mode. You see what I'm saying? So you got to start over. Relationships, that's affecting everybody's life. And you check your situation. You might have to start over. Okay. So the key takeaway from these points in this topic is embrace the necessity to start over. You
Yes.
got to
Don't
embrace it.
don't run from it. Don't run from it. You're gonna end up prolonging your
Yep.
growth,
Prolonging. Yep.
prolonging yourself from getting to where you gotta go because you should have stopped and started over 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
But
Hey.
because of your pride and what somebody would
Yeah.
think, you kept it going and stopped yourself. You could have already done checked off 2-3 more goals or got to another
Yeah.
place, but so embrace it. Don't run from it. Okay, listen to that gut. Look at yourself. Okay, it's time to start this over because I ain't got time to waste. Tomorrow, I promise. I gotta do this now. So embrace it, man. Don't run from it.
Disregarding the necessity to start over does nothing but prolong your destiny.
Trying to tell you, bro.
Yeah. So now you got the key takeaway, the action item, of course. This is what we want you to do.
Do your homework.
Yeah. Remember, the key topics are career, dreams and goals, and relationships. Based on them three topics, pick a topic that was discussed today that you believe is the best area for you to start over. That's going to be different for everybody. You got
Yes.
to you got to assess your situation. Find out what you need to start over.
Yeah. And take a deep look. Here we go again. I'm gonna tell you, be honest.
Be
Don't
real
lie
with
to
yourself.
yourself. Be honest. Hold yourself accountable. Look in that mirror. Go in that mirror and be like,
Yep.
you know what? You right. I do need to change that. I need to stop that. I need to stop talking about that. I need to get out of this situation. It ain't getting me nowhere. I got to get some traction. The tires are spinning in the mud on this situation, on this job, or on my dreams and goals, or in my relationship or friendships with somebody.
Yep.
Figure it out. Be honest. Write it down. See it. Put it in front of your face
Yep.
and watch what it do for you. And then let that thing go. It's okay. Or prioritize that thing, right? You might not need to throw it in the garbage, but you need to prioritize that and just start over in another light. It's all right to do it. It's okay.
Yep.
So, you know, um, very powerful, bro. I feel like this is something that everybody can relate to. And again, y'all that's listening and that's tuning in, um, this is just, we're gonna give it to you raw, give it to you real. And you're gonna see a range of who we really are. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes you're gonna get on here, we might be a little turned up.
For
Sometimes,
sure. If it's
sometime,
merited.
sometime you gotta come in. You gotta come in and really listen.
Real close though.
Come
Yeah.
close and really listen. Put some meat on your brain. You know what I'm saying? Some real stuff, some stuff that you can apply to yourself. And again, you don't got to do everything verbatim. You can plug and chug your own 1, 2, 3. Like what we had today, you can put your areas of focus could be 3 different things, but you got to identify that
That you'll
and
know
get,
what you need to change. Yeah.
you know what you need to change. We all know what we need to change. We know some stuff we all need to have let go a long time ago, right? But you know, definitely a good chat, and we're gonna keep bringing the heat for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's our you redemption. We're gonna keep bringing the heat.
Trying to
It's gonna
redeem
stay
you.
hot in here. Try to redeem you,
For
man.
sure.
We're gonna catch y'all on the next one.
Big speaker.
G.White.